that easier for you to learn the things I'm communicating with you. Hello, you guys on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. I hope that you are doing well, YouTube, because today, and I hope that Clubhouse is doing well as well. Do not forget our good friends at Clubhouse, because today I'm going to talk to you guys about something extremely important. Because I don't want to let social media stop you from growing your business. I see a ton of businesses trying to post on social media, trying to increase their engagement, trying to grow their businesses. But the thing is, it's taking more time for them than what's actually benefiting them. So I want to make sure that it doesn't happen anymore, and that you guys that are posting on social media day in and day out, trying to grow your business, but it's not working. I want to make sure that you know the right strategies to make sure it does work. You spend as a minimum amount of time as possible in there, and you get as much results as possible in return. So let's go started. I'm going to share with you a few slides that I prepared for you to make it easier for you to follow with me on today's episode. So let's get started. Hey, don't let social media stop you from growing your business, guys. You should be focusing on that, making sure that social media actually brings you the results that you want. Because if it doesn't, hey, why are you still on it? Now, quick introduction for those who don't me. My name is Gabriel Juliet. I'm the founder and CEO of Juliet Media and Juliet Productions, and I focus on helping entrepreneurs and business owners get their social media marketing, their online marketing to the next level, while also providing Hollywood level quality content. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you hit me up. Let's go, guys, and go get back to the meat of today's episode. Though, hey, I don't want to let social media stop you from growing a business. I want to help you get to the next level, and that's exactly what you're going to do. First, by the way, make sure that you subscribe to the show. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is, I'm going to put my face on, so you will be able to see. YouTube channel is Gabriel Juliet. If you want to go on it and watch the show, that's a great idea. You can also go on the Clubhouse for Marketing Commandos, and if you go on there, something really cool can happen. You can actually go on stage and ask me questions. That's pretty incredible. So if you have anything that you're stuck with, or anything that I didn't talk about in the show and that you want to ask because you want to get an answer to grow your business, hey, jump on the Clubhouse and I will answer those questions for you. So make sure that you do that. I'm waiting for you there. Remember, the episodes are every day at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure that you're there for your daily dose of marketing with the Marketing Commandos. Now, let's go into the first step, the first thing I prepared for you guys in today's episode, which is, hey guys, you can laugh at online content creation problems if you follow this plan. I made a plan for you, something that you should follow. And if you do that, guys, you will be able to dominate on social media without struggling. You can laugh at it. So let me show you what the process is. First, guys, you need to understand that one thing. You got to understand the goal of the platform you're publishing on. Because you can go on the platform, and if you do not understand what the goal of that platform is, you will not be able to post on it. Whenever I was trying to grow on Facebook, I remember, and Twitter, I was trying to use those methods, those black hats methods. We call those methods black hats, which are those that, hey, the social media platforms that you're using isn't really approving or appreciating the fact that you're using that method. That's the black hat method. The white hat is the thing they want you to do. The problem with the black hat method is that it may work for a while. You may get a bit of attention, but that's a tactic. You're not going to get evergreen things, like a constant flow of things coming up. Like one day or the other, you can stop and they found a solution to block people like you that are doing those black hat methods, and you're screwed. So to make sure that you get a constant flow and that you understand where the platform is going and how you can readjust on the changes that it will do, and sometimes when it will disappear, you got to make sure that you understand, okay, what's the goal of the platform? Let's take Google, for example. Google did a lot of what we call Google slaps, when they changed their algorithm and slapped a lot of entrepreneurs and businesses and marketers, and they weren't able to use their methods they used yesterday. But if you understand what Google was trying to do because they were doing that, the reason behind those slaps, then you will understand the direction you should approach and what you should do always. Google always did that in order to improve their customers' experience. Now, oftentimes it's going to be this, but you got to really understand what's the goal of that platform. Because, hey, let's say you understand what the goal of Google is. Okay, they want to improve their user experience. Why do they want to do that? Always go deeper. Why? Why do they really want to do that? Because, hey, if they do this, if they make sure their customers, the people that search on their platform, stays on the platform because they like it, what's going to happen is that they will see more ads. And Google makes most of its money by letting people run ads on them. So the more people stay on there the longest, the more people can actually watch their ads. So that's why people will actually pay Google to do that. So always go back and learn, okay, what's the goal of the platform? Because when you understand that, all the changes they will do, you will understand why they're doing them and how you can readjust extremely fast. And or you can set up your business and your strategy beforehand to make sure that it's fail-proof. Second thing that you should follow and understand is that you got to understand the goal. Second, you got to understand the language of each platform, because each platforms are different. Whenever you go on some platforms, let's say you go on LinkedIn, okay, LinkedIn, you're all professional or dressed up or professional business owner, businesswoman, businessman. But when you go on TikTok, like your brain is left the place, you know. You all of a sudden you watch some crazy things and you get on the corner of the internet where you're like, oh shit, I didn't want it to go there. So but same person, the conversation is different, and you got to understand that conversation. Because if you are trying to post content on social media and you try to post the same thing on LinkedIn and TikTok, as you will see, people are in a different mindset when they go in there. There are different conversations. That's even if that's the same thing as if you go into a party and you're like, hey, what's up? And people like are not the same, like, you know, you have different groups into that party and you try to jump from one group to the other with the same conversation, the same opening. If you talk sports with the guy that don't like sports and with the guy that likes sports, you're going to have one group that will perform well with you at a conversation level, but the other will be like, hey, fuck off. Like, who the hell are you to talk about that? It will be weird, you know? Same thing with social media. You got to understand, okay, what's the conversation on that platform? How are they talking? What is the thing that they are talking about? And how can I join the conversation as the popular guy, as the nice guy? Like, hey, like this guy is cool. I like the way he talks. Make sure that you understand that as well. It's going to help you to get a ton of engagement. Next thing I want to talk about is that if you want to do that, because, hey, I understand that when I say understand the conversation of each platforms, maybe you understood what I meant was like, hey, you should post content specifically for each platforms. Now, hold on, Gabriel, hold on. I'm not going to make sure I post like one video for TikTok, then one video for Instagram, then one video for LinkedIn, then one video for Facebook. That's too much work. And I'm with you, I understand. And I actually created a step-by-step framework to make sure that you do all that in less than 30 minutes and you are able to post on all platforms relevant content that will work in less than 30 minutes. If you want to know that step-by-step framework, make sure you stay until the end of the show. I'm going to talk about that later. The thing is, you got to really understand that that thing of repurposing content is a huge thing. Let's say, for example, you got a long video format. I'm always big on reusing content. You have a long video format, okay? You take that video and you're able to put it into little formats videos that you cut and you edit in a specific way to join the conversation. You are saying the same message, but you format it in a certain way that's appropriated to join the conversation and with the goal of the platform. If you're able to do that, then you will be able to join the conversation and to do the things the right way, as I just told you previously. So it's fine to repurpose content for each platform. And actually, I think that's the best way to save time and actually create as few pieces of content as possible while impacting as many platforms as possible. Last thing I want to talk about in that section is that you guys should only post on channels that you can repurpose the content so it feeds the conversation. Because, hey, like, you understand in life, and oftentimes I'm big into believing that you should focus on one thing and master it. The thing is, hey, with social media, you got to focus with a different angle, different approach, because you got to focus on a lot of things. You know what I mean? If you want to grow and you want to get real results on social media, your goal should be to be omnipresent on all those platforms. But the thing is, you got to focus on the ones that you can prioritize. For me, for example, I'm not on all the platforms. I'm as I'm in as many platforms, on as many platforms as I possibly can do. But if I have if I got platforms that I don't feel like I'm posting relevant content, maybe I will test it out for a while, but after that I will stop posting content. For example, I'm not that big on Twitter. I'm posting a fewer kind of posts on Twitter because that's not the content strategy I want to focus on. I'm focusing more on YouTube, podcast, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, those platforms. But hey, maybe you're somebody that's big on blogging. I'm also doing a bit of blogging, but maybe you are big on blogging. Then you can use that if you are able to fit that conversation. And if you're able to repurpose that blog article into other ways to fit other conversation on other platforms, then guys, hey, go do it. The thing is, you got to focus on those you can understand and those you can fit the conversation into. Only focus on those distribution channel. Guys, hey, if you like this episode, if you like what I'm talking about, the bombs I'm dropping, make sure that you subscribe to the show on YouTube and that you join the Clubhouse if you want to ask your questions. Remember, we do this every day at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Marketing Commandos, make sure you join the squad, make sure you join the club so you can talk about how you can blow up your business. Now, I'm going to go into the next section of today's episode, guys, because I found out something pretty cool. I found out a few questions that a lot of people are asking, real questions that a ton of people are asking, and I'm going to answer them with you right now. So question number one, hey, how to scale content creation? That's an excellent question. Scaling content creation. Well, actually, one of the best ways you can do that is by taking pieces of content and repurposing them. So what I just talked about is that you take a piece of content, you make a video, you make a piece of content that's big, and then you are able to repurpose it and use it in different ways, in different platforms. That's where you are able to scale and develop on other platforms. That's for me the quickest way and the fastest way to develop and scale your content creation. And you can do that like as much as you want. Second question is, hey, why is content so important? And that's a great question because, hey, why is content so important? Well, the thing is, content is important because it shows that you're relevant. Let's say you want to buy something. And I think there is a stat that people buy, like 80% of the things people buy, like they are following that brand on social media. So that's huge. That means that people buy from people they follow on social media, which means they buy from people or companies they trust. So if you build that content base and you are able to help, entertain, and provide content that's valuable for your audience, you'll be able to build that trust, that relationship with them that will ultimately get you more sales. That's why content is so important. Plus, that helps you to get more eyeballs, more attention on your business. And we all know that today, especially with all the things that are going on today, attention is by far the most important currency we can get. Now, last question that I got for you today. I got it for you. Hey, how can I automate content creation? Now that's interesting. That's really interesting. There are a few ways you can do that. Well, actually, one of the ways I'm thinking about that is using automation apps to actually post things on different platforms. I wouldn't recommend to do things with bots and things like that. If you want to develop your content, if you want to like respond to messages, that's fine. But automating content creation, I would say get somebody that can edit your things, get somebody that can repurpose the content, that can do subtitles, that can, make sure that the content is engaging enough. That's one of the things I would advise you to do first. And then what you can also do is using third-party apps like Ifttt. I'm going to talk about that further, but using some apps to automate the reposting process on different platforms, content scheduler, all the things like that. That's one of the things, these little apps that I'm going to recommend to you. Hey, talking about apps and website, guys, I got something coming up that's really interesting for you. But first, guys, make sure you join the Clubhouse if you want to ask any questions, because at the end of the show, I'm going to take a few questions of people I want to ask questions about online marketing, selling, creating content, creating great pieces of content that converts. If you want to know how to do that, hey guys, make sure that you join the Clubhouse, because I'm going to answer those questions and help the people that want to get their questions answered. Now, quick sip and we go back at it again. Let me share with you guys something that I never did before. That's a new thing, but I think that you guys will love it. I want to share with you The 8 apps and websites you need to create dope content. I use those things every day on a daily basis, and they help me out a ton in order to create my content in a massive quantity and doing entertaining content as well. So make sure that you guys use those. Number one is Zoom. Like right now, I'm on Zoom. I'm actually using Zoom to restream, to put my stream on YouTube. And then I also take the video, save it, and repurpose it again. But that's one of the software I'm using. Second one is Restreamlock Io. It's pretty much the same thing for the same purpose. The advantage with Restream is that you can actually take one live and post it on like all the platforms other than Facebook and YouTube, which are the things that you can only do on Zoom. And that's the bit of the problem with Zoom, is that you can only do it on those platforms. But if you use Restream, you're able to go on Twitch, you're able to go on all the platforms like Facebook and all those platforms at the same time. So that's pretty important to make sure that you're everywhere when you're streaming. So that's a great platforms to use. By the way, if you guys want to know and take a look at those, a few of those, I'm going to put a link in the description so you can take a look at those and see if they are a good fit for you. So Restream is great for restreaming. Plus, let's say one day you cannot like do a live presentation. You're like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it. Well, you can actually put a video, make a video offline, off live, and you're able to put it in Restream, and Restream will basically put it as if it was a live video. So that can be interesting if some days, hey, you miss a day of posting live, that happens, you can use Restream to do that. So that's great as well. Now, next thing I use all the time to create my thumbnails, all the content, the visual content that I use is Adobe Express or Canva. I was using Canva before, but because I got Adobe Suite with Premiere Pro, Photoshop, and all those things, I am able to get Adobe Express. And to be honest, I prefer it to Canva. It's really early stage. They're really testing out a new features, but I really like the content that's on it and the fact that you can use all those things together. So that's one of the software that I use. Next software that I use every day, and since Hannah joined the Clubhouse room, I'm going to talk about it. Adobe Premiere Pro. Yes, we all know this one. It's a funny one. Sometimes it's on your side, sometimes it's not on your side, but I would say it's by far the best for me. Actually, for content creation, it's the best all-around content creation tool. They just released a new update, and I don't know if you guys know that, and I was so happy that they did that. One of the things I wanted to do is put subtitles, because everybody was telling me, hey, like 75% of people actually watch the video on mute. And I was like, oh, I need to do subtitles, but I don't want to pay like $1 a minute for every TikTok or thing I'm promoting. That's a bit too much, you know what I mean? And I struggled to find that software that was able to deliver those things. And I was all the time like editing on Premiere Pro. And one day, like I think like 2-3 weeks ago, when I was just starting to do that show, the Marketing Commandos, I found out that they made an update, and actually you can have automatic subtitles and transcripts on the app. And I was so happy that they just did that, because that was one of the main struggles. I was literally in front of my computer like, what they did it, oh yeah. I was so damn happy. That really helps me out a lot to create short form content that you put on Instagram, on Facebook, TikTok, those things. When you put subtitles, that really helps out a lot. So I would advise you to go with Adobe Premiere. I think I'm going to also add a link to show you guys so you can get it ASAP for your business. Now, I'm going to go to the next one because we're not finished. I actually talked about this one before, which is imageflip.com. So imageflip.com is really interesting if you want to create quick, fast memes. Memes are basically like funny, relatable images that you've probably seen on social media, and they're really useful to have because they're really like, they get a high engagement rate oftentimes. So that's really interesting to use that thing, because it basically, like, you choose a meme, you can even see that the popular memes that they got out there. So you see, okay, this one is popular, I'm going to fill it with the text I want, and then you download it and you're done. That's pretty easy, and I really like this one. Extremely easy to create like tens of memes and schedule them after that. Now, next one I'm using is more into the preparation side and understanding what kind of content is to be done. And that's the most important part of the process, because let me tell you guys something. If you if you're focusing on creating a piece of content or creating something, you should put 80% of your time on creating the hook. And the hook can be the title, the headline, the thumbnail if you're doing a YouTube video, the first seconds, the first minutes, like that beginning part when you're hooking your viewer, your reader, your listener. You should be focusing most of your time, 80% of your time on that. The rest is allocated to the content and the call to action, like for real. And if you follow those things, you got to understand that the research part and understanding, okay, what people are searching in the first place is important to put the right hook on, because you can put a hook, but if nobody's searching for those things, they will not be hooked. So you got to make sure that you know what to search. So answerthepublic.com is a great website because you can basically type, okay, like a specific site. Let's say you're into the car selling, like Precious. I know Precious Lee's into like selling cars, but hey, you can type like cars in Canada. Okay, and then you're able to see what people are asking as questions, as with like it gives you like 100 different versions of that same questions with the keyword that you just put. So that helps you out a lot to actually see what people are searching in specific part of the world, so you can address those questions, those problems they are searching answers for. So that's a great one. Answer the Public. Then another one that I use in order to have the great keywords, if you're doing keywords for Google articles, for YouTube, all those things like that, I use Ahrefs. Ahrefs.com. That's one of the websites that you can use in order to find the popular hashtags, the popular tags. Especially, I use that especially for YouTube. The popular tags that you can use to make sure that your videos are seen by everyone. And the last one I got for you is Anchor, Anchor.fm, Anchor. So Anchor is really a great one if you're having a podcast, because in the past, I was like, okay, I need to make a podcast. It gives you an RSS feed, and people oftentimes you got to pay for that. That's for free. Anchor is totally free, by the way. And like, what's great with Anchor is that when you post something on Anchor, it auto distributes it on other platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Tidal, I think, and pretty much all the other like possible platforms available for podcasting. So that helps you to grab a lot of attention really quick, and you don't have to repost it again and again on all the platforms. So I really love Anchor. I use that all the time to post my podcast and grab some more attention on each episode I do. And I got a bonus one for you, which is an app that is got its specific use. It's called Ifttt. If this then that. The app is, you can download it. I think it's on mobile. I believe it's on computer as well, but you can get it on mobile. Ifttt. So that application is great because it helps you automate certain things. Basically, people already created. It works a bit like Zapier for those guys who know it. Basically, you go in it and people already created automations. For example, you can search for automations about anything. It can be for like when you go to home, you can activate Wi-Fi or things like that. But it can also be helpful if you're trying to post content. Let's say when you post something on Instagram with specific hashtags, all of a sudden it's going to be distributed to your LinkedIn, your Facebook, and your Twitter as well, all in the same time. So that's really great if you want to automate the process of creating content and not having to post all the times, things multiple times on different platforms. That saves a lot of time and a lot of things that you can do with that time, of course. So, hey, do you guys like that little like, hey, apps sharing, website sharing, little things that I use on a daily basis? If you do like that, guys, make sure that you stay connected, because I've got something coming in a few days that will blow your mind, something that will blow your mind, something that I believe has never been done in the marketing space, or pretty much ever, because people are not willing to share their tips, share the things that they do, the behind the scenes enough. But guys, I'm pretty transparent with you. You know that. Make sure that you stay tuned to the Marketing Commandos, because I've got a huge offer, something that I will share with you guys really soon. Hey, stay connected to that, because you will not believe what you're going to see and what you're going to get on a daily basis as this show, the Marketing Commandos. Now, in the beginning of the show, I promised you to give you a specific step-by-step process on how to create content fast. I'm going to give you that process right now, because I see you guys are struggling to create content and make sure it works. And I don't want social media to be your enemy. I want it to be your best friend, because A lot of people are posting on social media, not getting any results. And I did that. I actually had that thing a long time too, until I really understood what were the mechanics, what were the things to do. And I gathered those mechanics and I created a step-by-step process on how you guys can do that. And how we can post everywhere fast and get some results. Here is the little step-by-step process I've got for you. My proven content creation method to post on all platforms fast. Hey, step number 1, you make a script and a slide presentation for a video with the following sections. So you take a podcast monologue. If you follow the show I'm doing, it follows this exact same process. So you can go back and watch the whole show I'm doing on the Marketing Commandos, and you can look at exactly what I'm doing. I'm following this step-by-step process. First step is a podcast monologue. Second is an interview. Third is the 4 frequently asked questions. Fourth, top X. In this episode I just did, like the top 8 apps and websites that you can use to grow and you make content fast. You can do that in your industry as well. Next thing, the thing that we're doing right now, it's a how-to. In my case, it's how to create a ton of content fast on all platforms. That's my step-by-step process. And then final thoughts, when you basically gather in the summary, do a summary of all the things that you just learned. You do a script, basic script, just the little points of, hey, what are you going to talk about in that step? What's going to be the title of this? And in all those sections. Next thing that you do, step number 2, you go live on the platform of your choice and deliver your presentation. So as I talked about, you can use Restream if you want to go live on all the platforms at the same time. If you want to go live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch, and all those platforms to give and to get a maximum amount of reach. That's what I would advise you to do. I'm going to put a link to Restream so you can get it in the description. You can go on live and choose the platform that you want, deliver the presentation, and step number 3, you go, after you've done the live, you save the video. And you go into your editing software and you cut each section that you just did. Remember the section that I told you to do, like podcast monologue, the interview, FAQ, top X, how to, and final thoughts. You take all those parts and you cut them into pieces. You're like, okay, part 1 monologue, part 2 interview, and you cut all of them apart. Okay. And when you are able to do that, step number 4 is that what you do with all those things, you adapt them to the platform that you want to post them on. So few of them are already adapted. That's the way you should do it. And that's why preparation is important when you do those things, because like you already set it up. The first, for example, the podcast monologue is made to be a podcast. So you don't have to like edit it a ton to post it. You can basically take the video, take the audio and put it on as a podcast episode as it is. The interview, same thing pretty much. People like interviews. Maybe you cut a bit of the moments to make sure it's like fluid and all, but you can post the audio and the video on YouTube and as a podcast episode. Frequently asked questions, I would keep them for like make sure you answer those questions in less than 1 minute, and you take those answers and you put them as little pieces of content, like Instagram posts or TikToks or things like that. Frequently asked questions about your business. Then top X, you can do that, and that's a really fun one. You can put it as a YouTube video, and you can also put it as an article. So you basically use the transcript method that I just shared with you with Adobe Premiere Pro, and you will be able to have that for editing, and you can transcript that and put as well the captions automatically. So if that's something you're interested, check the link in the description. I will share with you an access to that application. But you take all those things and you adapt them to the platforms that you want to put them on. That's the thing that you should do. And after this, you just publish. That's simple as that. So remember that what we just talked about in the beginning. You should always first understand the conversation that are going on those platforms. So don't just post things like that, hoping it will work on different platforms, because different platforms are different goals. They have different goals. They have different conversations going on them, and people go on there with a different mindset. So make sure that you understand that beforehand so you can adapt the content the proper way. Okay? So that was my 5-step process for you guys to being able to create content fast on all the platforms. If you did like that, and if you do want to make sure that you apply those things, I stay tuned, because I got a resource that's going to go and complement every day, every show that we do. And I'm not going to talk too much about it, but basically you're going to be able to apply step by step the things I talked about, because you guys, I'm sharing with you a step-by-step process, but the thing is you got to apply the step-by-step process, and that's the way you're going to be able to benefit as much as possible from it. So I'm going to create an additional resource that is going to help you guys to apply that specific step-by-step process that I'm doing every day, so you have no excuses and you're able to do it and actually see the results for your business. Because like we can keep talking about the best marketing strategies every day. We can do that every day of the week, as you can see. But the thing is, nothing will happen if you do not choose to do the actions that are necessary to grow your business. Nothing will happen. And I want to make sure that you guys do the right thing. So we're coming to the end of the show. You guys on YouTube, if you have any questions, make sure you join the Clubhouse room. Clubhouse room is Marketing Commandos, because we're coming close to the end of the show, and I want to answer your questions if you got one. Now we're going to go into the final thoughts, as I just talked to you in the step-by-step process. So final thoughts, I'm going to go over the things that we just talked about today and make sure that you do not forget the most important nuggets. Nugget number one, hey, only post on platforms when you can talk the same language. You got to understand the language of that platform, the goal of that platform, the language, and only focus on those platforms. If not, you're just wasting your time. You're not able to talk the language. Do not go at the party that you are not able to relate to the people that are in that party. Same thing. You go into the parties that you know your people are going to be there, and that you know you're going to be able to talk to those people without like having awkward conversations because you don't know how to talk the language. So make sure that you only go to the public, to the social media, to the parties that you know how to talk the language, and only focus solely on those. Second thing that we can take from today's episode: scale content creation by working smarter, not harder. You got to learn how to work hard first. Yes, but you got to also understand that working smarter is the way to develop fast. The best way to scale content creation is to make sure that you understand how to repurpose a specific piece of content, and the more you are able to squeeze it and repurpose it to fit different conversations on different platforms, that's how you're going to be able to scale your content creation. Because it's not by creating more videos, because hey, like you are not a full-time content creator. Maybe you are, but the thing is, the way you make money is actually to sell things. So you got to understand how to use the same piece of content, squeeze as much information, as much possibilities out of it to make it fit on different platforms and different conversations to fit different platforms. That's the way you scale. Last thing that we can take from today's episode: understand what the platform wants for each user. I talked about understanding the goal of the platform. And why is that important? Because if you understand why the platform is making those changes, why do the platform is preventing certain users to do the certain things, why is it making those changes and those moves, if you understand that, you are able to go and apply an evergreen strategy that will basically work all the time, and that you will be able to use as a foundation, a strategy, a deep foundation for your business. Because if you do choose to apply things when you don't understand the goal of the platform behind it, what may happen is that you will use techniques that the platform is not in alignment with, and those things, when they will be removed, and if you did only focus on using those things to grow your business, then your business will fall to ashes and you will not have any ways to do the things that you were doing before. So make sure that you understand the goal of the platforms and use ways to grow on the platforms that are accordant, in alignment with the goals of that specific platform. So that was it for today, guys. So if you have any questions, do move to the Marketing Commandos Clubhouse room if you want to ask any questions. And if you're on the Clubhouse, raise your hand and I'm going to answer a few questions right now. Damn, talking makes me so thirsty, guys. Like, I've pretty much drinking like, yeah, 250 milliliters of water already. Oh, and by the way, I'm also going to an event right now that Steve J. Lawson is doing about YouTube and making sure, hey, you gotta always be a learner. You gotta always learn things and do not say that you know it all, because that's false. And whenever you do that, you stop growing. You stop being somebody that can actually improve. I'm going to an event right now with Steve J. Lawson, going to learn how to deliver better content on YouTube and helping more people on YouTube. So that's great. I'm really pumped about that. Currently, it seems like we have no questions today, which I'm good with. No problem. I'm with you. I understand, though. Make sure that you share the stream with somebody that wants to take his business to the next level. And I see you guys on tomorrow's episode of Marketing Commandos. And tomorrow, if everything works great, we may have a special guest. And we're going to talk about the blood flow, something that your business absolutely needs in order to grow.